The movie opens with Yelena Belova, a highly skilled operative reflecting on a profound sense of emptiness and lack of purpose in her life, which she initially attributed to the death of her sister but now feels like a pervasive void. She works in the cleanup business, traveling the world to complete clandestine assignments for a mysterious organization. Her current mission in Malaysia involves destroying sensitive research, a task complicated by a facial recognition system. She encounters a scientist who frantically warns her about the research project Sentry, claiming it could end the world and that Yelena's boss Valentina Allegra de Fontaine doesn't understand what happened there. Yelena is forced to kill the scientist, regretting the loss of the face she needed to bypass the scanner, but ultimately completes the assignment. The scene shifts to a congressional impeachment hearing against Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, who now serves as the director of the CIA, having previously chaired the board of the OXE group. The congressional committee led by Representative Barnes is investigating OXE's alleged involvement in illegal operations, unregulated foreign labs, and human experimentation to develop a superperson. De Fontaine, unapologetic and arrogant, dismisses the proceedings as a partisan waste of time, arguing that without reliable heroes like the Avengers, the American government must shield its citizens by any means necessary. Following the hearing, Valentina frantically instructs her assistant Mel to remove all remaining evidence that could lead to her impeachment or imprisonment. Mel reports that Yelena blew up an entire laboratory in Kuala Lumpur, a loose end tied up in an explosive manner. De Fontaine then sends out new assignments, noting that Yelena is the only one who hasn't checked in. Yelena travels to Baltimore, though her estranged father figure Alexei Shostakov insists it's DC, to see Alexei, the former Soviet super soldier known as the Red Guardian. Yelena confesses she wants to quit working for Valentina, which shocks Alexei, who is secretly miserable in his mundane life as a limo driver. He attempts to call Valentina to volunteer his services, desperate to return to a life of heroism. Yelena reveals her existential crisis, asking what is the point. Alexei, despite his own failure, reminds her of her sister and the higher calling of serving one's country as a hero. Yelena finally reports to Valentina, proposing a change to a more public-facing role. Valentina agrees, offering her a clean slate guarantee after one final assignment for OXE: infiltrate a vault built deep inside a mountain, OXE group's most sensitive storage facility, to track a rogue operative with the perfect attributes to steal from her. Yelena is tasked with following the target, assessing what she intends to steal, and then terminating her on sight. Yelena enters the vault and immediately encounters the target, Ava Starr, also known as Ghost, a former SHIELD reject with phasing abilities. However, Yelena also finds John Walker, the former Captain America, and another operative who is quickly dispatched by a third unidentified person. This third individual is an ordinary-looking man who introduces himself as Bob. John Walker, who was supposedly sent to keep an eye on Ava, accuses her of stealing, while Yelena insists she's only there for Ava. They realize they have all worked for Valentina in Shadow Ops capacity, and that the assets being stolen are not just secrets but them. Walker deduces they are all liabilities Valentina intends to eliminate as the last pieces of evidence in her investigation. As the argument escalates, the incinerator begins to activate, sealing them in. Realizing they are about to be burned alive, the group reluctantly decides to work together. They force the volatile Walker, who boasts about his past as the official Captain America, to subdue the seemingly innocent Bob to keep him quiet. Ava realizes she can phase through the walls if they shut down the vault's sound barrier. Yelena, Walker, and Bob find the power source, and Walker blows it up, disabling the barrier. Ava phases out to open the main door. Meanwhile, Mel updates Valentina on the group's escape and their unlikely alliance. Valentina, incredulous that her defective losers are working together, orders a full strike team to the vault coordinates. Ava returns and opens the incinerator, saving Yelena and Walker. Walker immediately finds a small bottle in the burning evidence, claiming he needs it and that she'd want me to have it. Back outside the incinerator, Bob reveals his connection to Project Sentry, a program that was supposedly shut down with all its test subjects dead. Yelena realizes that Bob is Robert Reynolds, an incredibly powerful test subject who survived the procedure. After a brief argument, they agree to stick together to escape. The team comes up with a plan. Yelena will use a diversion and Walker will handle the first wave of troops after she blinds the remaining ones. Ava will find an escape vehicle and Bob is told to stay behind. The plan goes awry when Walker's explosion only fries the wires, but Yelena blinds the troops by turning the power on and off. Walker abandons his teammates with the line, "Every man for himself," though he returns shortly after driving a large truck. They escape the compound as Valentina watches via satellite. She orders her team to torch it all, but then sees Bob on the roof. She unleashes the Sentry's power, turning him into a destructive force which she controls and redirects at the escaping truck. The truck is hit and Yelena, Walker, and Ava witness the catastrophic aftermath of the Sentry's power. Yelena realizes Valentina has not lost it but found it and will use this power. Ava reveals the bottle Walker took is a data chip containing the Sentry research. They are then joined by Alexei, who, after overhearing the vault coordinates while driving Valentina, had raced to their rescue. He happily drives the team, now joined by the super soldier, the former assassin, the phase shifter, and the troubled Bob, to an unknown destination. Valentina, having wiped the last of the evidence, plans to unshut down the Sentry project, ordering Mel to dispose of Yelena and the others, the last pieces of evidence. Immediately, the teams escape from the OXE vault. Yelena Belova, John Walker and Ava Starr, Ghost, are crammed into a truck driven by Alexei Shostakov, Red Guardian, who is ecstatic about the prospect of leading a new hero team. Yelena however insists on splitting up, recognizing that Valentina Allegra de Fontaine is now actively hunting them. Alexei dismisses this, believing they have the makings of a team that can raise to glory. A convoy of Valentina's men attacks the truck, forcing Walker to deploy his shield and Alexei to haphazardly use the truck's defensive measures, which turn out to be underwhelming. The conflict is abruptly interrupted by the arrival of Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier. Yelena recognizes Bucky and an excited Alexei immediately sees this as confirmation of his team idea. Bucky has been working with Representative Barnes, who is now calling an emergency impeachment session, hinting at juicy new evidence against Valentina. Valentina meanwhile is setting up shop in a massive half-finished facility she calls the Watchtower. She is informed that Robert Reynolds aka Bob is now in her custody. Reading his file, she notes his mental instability and delusions of grandeur, believing the Sentry treatment has dangerously amplified his imbalance. She attempts to manipulate Bob, telling him that Yelena and the others are criminals who betrayed him and that she is the only one who sees his true perfect potential. Bob, despite his confusion, begins to turn on her when she reveals intimate, painful details about his past, showing she knows everything about him. Back at the facility, Valentina's assistant Mel confronts a captured Bucky who has infiltrated the Watchtower. Bucky reveals that the rest of the team are on their way to testify, and he warns Mel about the danger of Project Sentry. He tells Mel that Valentina is creating a disaster and that the Bob she's unleashed is not just a failure but a massive threat. Mel, who is clearly conflicted about her job, is visibly shaken by the news. Bucky manages to escape, urging Mel to bring help. Bucky and the rest of the team arrive at the Watchtower, an old Avengers facility. They confront Valentina, who mockingly welcomes them. Valentina reveals that Mel was only kept around long enough to lure them in and that she is now unveiling her true new hero. She introduces the now costumed golden-clad Sentry. He's revealed to be Bob, all-powerful and invincible. Valentina explains that she intends for the Sentry to defeat the ruthless group of rogue agents, the Team, with the press waiting to witness the spectacle and launch a new era where she is unimpeachable. The Sentry attacks. The Team, immediately outmatched by his overwhelming power, is scattered. Sentry even turns Walker's shield into a taco. Just as Sentry is about to deliver a finishing blow, he hesitates, questioning why he must kill them if they pose no threat to him. Valentina tries to reassert control, but Sentry turns on her, questioning why an all-powerful invincible being should take orders from anyone. He seemingly uses his power to vaporize Valentina, leaving only a hole in the floor. The rest of the team regroups. Yelena, seeing the devastating power of the Sentry and the chaos he is causing in the city, breaks down, reflecting on her loneliness and her worst regrets, particularly an early Red Room mission involving a child named Anya. Alexei, offering a sincere moment of paternal comfort, reminds her of the kind, special little girl she used to be and the goodness still inside her. The group finds Bob, who is creating a chaotic psychedelic landscape of shame and regret, a physical manifestation of his tortured psyche. Bob reveals that what they are seeing is not the real world but a shared illusion of interconnected shame rooms where the pain only gets worse and there's no death. The Sentry is his dark side, the void given superpowers. The team, now bonded by their shared trauma, agrees to work together to save Bob. They confront the Sentry in a projection of the laboratory where Bob was experimented on, a place where he confronted the part of himself that felt like nothing. Yelena, remembering her father's words, tells Bob that he is not alone and that they will leave the terrifying space together. This collective act of acceptance and belief in his worth allows the Sentry to regress back into the vulnerable Bob. The team escapes, bringing a disoriented Bob with them, having defeated the Sentry's dark side. Bucky, Walker, Ava and Alexei realize they must take Valentina and not kill her, but just as they are about to leave, Valentina appears on a television screen, having apparently survived the Sentry's attack. She spins the entire event, declaring that she has been working to develop a new age of protection, and introduces her team as the new Avengers. The movie ends with the team reluctantly accepting the moniker, pondering the implications as an unidentified craft enters Earth's orbit, hinting at their next mission. If you enjoy watching this video, then subscribe to Angel Recaps for the latest movies explanation.